Welcome to my next review. Today we are moving out of the A's and into the B's. Funny that. And we're going to start with another Wiiware game, BIT.TRIP Runner. I will get to Virtual Console games soon, don't you worry. And before we get started, this review will contain spoilers. This game is from the BIT.TRIP series, if you couldn't tell. And I didn't have much interest in this game, as the BIT.TRIP series just never appealed to me from what I'd seen of them. So when I heard another one was coming out, I thought, yeah, whatever. But I have a friend who downloaded this game and he strongly recommended it to me. So eventually I bought it and, yeah, I did have fun with it. In it, you take control of Commander Video. Commander Video is a, I actually have no idea what he's supposed to be, but he runs. And he never stops running, unless traffic lights tell him to. But then the green shows and he's well away. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this game. I mean, I could call it sort of like a on-rails platformer, but essentially it is a rhythm game. And rhythm games aren't really my thing, because I have really bad sense of rhythm. But platformers are my thing. I love platformers. And this is pretty much a rhythm game disguised as a platformer. So as I mentioned, Commander Video just runs. He doesn't stop running, you can't slow him down, he can't stop him. He just keeps on running through the level. What you can do though, is you can press the 2 button to jump over obstacles, press the 1 button to kick certain things, down to duck, up to spring when on certain platforms, and press right to bring up a shield. In this game you have to rely on observation and memory more than anything else. In fact, memory plays a bigger part. You hit one single thing, you get sent back to the beginning and have to restart the level. Each time you play a level, it's exactly the same. Same positions of enemies and obstacles, same speed, and pressing certain buttons at the same time. As you play, you just get absorbed into this game. You can sit there staring at the screen, not realising how much time has passed because you just get so entranced. I don't know how they did that, whether it's the music or the colours, but you just lose track of everything else. It's just pure concentration more than anything at what's coming up. And graphically, this game has its own style. Commander Video is all pixely, the backgrounds have more detail, and this game can play with your eyes a bit because of the constantly scrolling screen. Afterwards, just look at something else and it will look like the walls are moving. If you've ever played a Guitar Hero game, then I think you'll know exactly what I mean. The first world sort of looks not anything special, but once you beat that first boss and you're onto the second world, I mean, wow, things just change. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, and things in the background looks like hazards. It kind of messes with you a bit. And whereas And Yet It Moves, I mentioned, had very little music, this game is the opposite. It's all about the music. Every obstacle you dodge adds to the song that's playing. Like you'll jump, it'll make this little beat noise to add to the song playing. And on the way you can collect these bandages which sort of power you up, eventually get a rainbow following you just to bring more colour into it, I guess. And the more you collect, the more detail gets added to the song. There are 3 worlds in this game. Each world contains 12 levels, and the 12th level of each world is a boss fight. The boss fights do vary. I mean, the first one you're basically dodging the obstacles that it presents to you, and the second one you're on the conveyor belt and you're dodging his obstacles. And each level contains golds that you need to collect. Collect all the gold and you get to play the bonus stage, and in the bonus stage you get to collect more gold. So if collecting gold is your thing, you will be right at home here. Boss fights, as I mentioned, they follow the same formula as the levels, just dodge things basically. If you get hit, you get sent back to the start, remember what happened, and then you get to sort of try again, just sort of remember what happened, get past that certain section you didn't get past before. Second boss was a problem, as you see here. I didn't realise I had to spring on that platform, I didn't see it coming in time. So second time I went through it, I had to go through all that dodging again. I sprung up on it, didn't realise I had to kick that switch, I thought just jumping to it would do. So I had to go through all that dodging again, and yeah, you're probably going to start to see the main problem that I have with this game. It can be frustrating. It's difficult. I mean, difficulty is a great thing in games. Obviously you want games to be difficult. And I'm all for platformers being without checkpoints, because then if you fail on the level, I don't want to start exactly where I died. I want to start at the beginning. I want to get through it again. That's how you remember the games. And you get to try out different strategies, different routes, sort of see where you went wrong, see a different approach to it. Here though, that's not the case, because it's all about memorising what happened in the level, remembering exactly where to jump and where to duck and so forth. And I know other retro games sort of are all about memorising the levels as well, but at least you can try out different ways of moving. Here you have to move the exact same way each time. It's not all about memorising though. You could get through each level if you have outstanding observation skills and reaction time, but most people it will be just trial and error. You'll die, you'll get back there, do everything again, get past that little bit you died on, only to get killed by the next obstacle. Then back you go, remember what came next, dodge that obstacle, then you'll die on the next obstacle. Then you have to go again, making a little bit of progress each time, and sometimes you'll forget earlier obstacles, so you'll die again. Thankfully though, there are no loading screens between the deaths. You just get sent straight back and start again, because I don't think I'd have the patience for this game if there were loading screens. And it is just another game where I just ended up turning the sound off and watching stuff as I was playing it, because I would have felt like it was a big waste of time just constantly doing the same long sections over and over again. And it's kind of strange that I did that scene that I mentioned music's a big part of the game, but oh well. So I've mentioned what's frustrating about this game, and I've mentioned what I like about the game. Would I recommend it? In this day and age, right now, several years after it's come out, would I recommend it now? Back then when it was new, I would have. But now, it sort of depends on your outlook of it. If you don't like these types of games where it's all remembering what comes up and having to press the right buttons at the right times and repeating it over and over again, then no, you will hate it. But if you've liked what you've seen and you're a fan of these sort of games, I still do not recommend this game, because if you like these type of games, I will recommend you get BIT.TRIP Complete, which you can probably pick up quite cheap nowadays, and it contains the other BIT.TRIP games as well as this one, and so you'll get much better value. But if you're like me, and the BIT.TRIP games, the other ones, just don't appeal to you at all, but this one looks interesting because it's a platformer, and that interests you, then I still won't recommend this game. I would say buy the sequel, because the sequel is better, and I will get to that eventually. But so yeah, quite an odd one. Back when I first downloaded it, I would recommend it, but now I don't, because you can play a much better sequel, or you can play a collection game which will give you much better value for money. So take that for what it's worth, and I will see you on the next review.